They replaced my porch light with their surveillance camera, so I replaced their authority with city code enforcement. My house sat on a quiet half-acre lot just outside of Raleigh, a 1950s brick ranch I'd restored room by room. The front porch light was one of the first things I'd replaced when I moved in, an antique bronze fixture wired carefully into the original junction box. It was small but symbolic, the first glow that welcomed me home after long workdays. 2 years after I finished the renovation, a new neighbor moved in next door, a self-described security consultant named Brad. He was the kind of man who wore mirrored sunglasses when talking to people. He ran a small firm that installed cameras for local businesses, and he liked to remind everyone that privacy is old-fashioned. Our first conversation was over the property line when he asked if I'd considered upgrading my outdated lighting to something smarter. I told him I preferred analog simplicity. He smiled thinly and said, "People who don't adapt get left behind." A week later, I returned from a weekend trip to find my front porch light gone. In its place was a small black dome camera wired neatly into the same junction box. The lens faced my driveway. A thin cable ran across the siding into his property. My stomach turned cold. When I knocked on his door, he opened it halfway and said, "Oh, that? You're welcome. It's part of a neighborhood safety network. It covers your front area, but I manage the feed." I told him to remove it immediately. He shrugged. "You can't fight progress. It's technically improving community security." I didn't argue. I photographed everything: the wiring, the mounting holes, the serial number on the device. Then I called a licensed electrician and the city's code compliance office. The electrician confirmed it was an unpermitted modification on private property. The inspector's eyebrows rose when he saw the cable crossing the boundary. He said quietly, "That's unauthorized surveillance. Document everything." 3 days later, Brad slipped a letter under my door through his attorney claiming the camera was a temporary test installation and offering to leave me a copy of the footage for transparency. He also suggested I pay half the cost if I wanted it removed professionally. The city didn't find that amusing. They issued a notice citing multiple violations: unpermitted electrical work, unauthorized data collection, and property damage. The order required removal within 14 days and restoration of the original fixture at his expense. On execution day, I stood on my porch while a licensed contractor unbolted the camera and reinstalled my light. A city inspector filmed the process. Brad watched from his driveway, jaw tight. When he muttered about suing, the inspector handed him the compliance order and said, "You're already lucky he isn't pushing any criminal charges against you." That night, my porch light glowed steady and warm again. It hasn't flickered since.